ESPN analyst and Meadowlark Media podcast host Pablo Torre recently discussed the ongoing political turmoil with a panel of experts. The conversation began with an analysis of the Democratic Party's internal struggles, particularly Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's controversial decision to avoid a government shutdown. The panel noted that Schumer's actions have deepened divisions within the Democratic Party, leading to growing dissatisfaction among some members. One panelist suggested that Schumer's strategy might ultimately create more problems for him and his allies in the future. The discussion then shifted to the difficult political position Schumer faced. While some criticized him for not putting up enough of a fight, others pointed out that allowing a shutdown could have given former President Donald Trump an opportunity to blame economic turmoil on the Democrats. Some analysts argued that by preventing the shutdown, Schumer effectively placed the burden of ongoing political chaos on Trump's shoulders. Despite this reasoning, critics contended that the Democratic leadership should have done more to explain the consequences of the decisions to the public. Issues such as Social Security, veterans' benefits, and the influence of big money in politics should have been clearly laid out for voters. Without a strong public narrative, many feared that the Democratic Party had simply conceded rather than fought for its values. The conversation also touched on the potential fallout of a government shutdown. If one had occurred, key officials like the head of the Office of Management and Budget, Russell Vought, would have determined which government functions were essential. Some panelists suggested that such a scenario could have been politically advantageous to Trump's camp, shifting public perception in unpredictable ways. As the discussion continued, concerns were raised about the broader impact of political decisions on the American public. Some analysts warned that voters might not fully understand the reasons behind governmental instability, which could play into Trump's narrative of dysfunction. Others argued that rather than overanalyzing public perception, Democrats should have taken a bolder stance against policies they opposed. The debate also highlighted the generational and ideological divides within the Democratic Party. Some argued that younger, more progressive voices are eager to challenge the status quo, while older leaders like Schumer remain committed to traditional bipartisan approaches that may no longer be effective in today's political climate. In addition to domestic concerns, the panel explored the broader geopolitical ramifications of recent policy shifts. Some experts expressed alarm over changes to international alliances and economic structures, warning that these moves could lead to long-term instability. Others pointed out that the current administration appears more focused on online debates and political point scoring than on crafting sustainable policies. As the discussion wrapped up, panelists emphasized that the core issue at hand is the government's responsibility to its citizens. The erosion of the social safety net, including programs like Social Security and Medicaid, raises fundamental questions about the nation's obligations to its elderly, poor, sick, and veterans. One panelist passionately called for political leaders to stand by the values that underpin these policies rather than simply reacting to partisan battles. Ultimately, the conversation underscored the high stakes of the current political landscape, with both parties navigating internal divisions and external challenges. As the nation moves forward, the question remains: who will take charge and shape the future of American governance?